The Raiders of William Howard Taft High School in San Antonio off to their best season in school history, as well as their senior running back, Robert Merrill, who has led the Raiders on the ground with 2,744 yards rushing. The Raiders are 12-2 and in their first ever 5A Division I Texas Bowl. But their opponent for today's game also has weapons on the ground. The Mesquite Skeeters have had 5 backs rush for no fewer than 400 yards. It's going to be very difficult to stop their ground attack as well. It's the ground assault of Mesquite against the ground attack of San Antonio Taft. The ground war in the 5A Division I Texas Bowl is next. The city of San Antonio, Texas has hosted many a high school football state championship going all the way back to the days when only one state champion was crowned. Well, today, one will certainly be crowned here in the city at rainy, drizzly, cold Alamo Stadium. It's historic, and today it's the 5A Division I Texas Bowl, the undefeated Mesquite Skeeters taking on the 12-2 Raiders from San Antonio Taft. Hi again, everyone. I'm Craig Way alongside Shay Walker. Happy to have you with us here on Fox Sports Net for another 5A Division I Texas Bowl. 2 teams in the 5A championship round for the first time ever. Mesquite was in it way back in 1974 in the 4A bracket. First appearance for Taft. 2 teams that love to get it done on the ground.
Absolutely. You're going to see today 2 fantastic running games. One is going to be running back by committee with the Mesquite Skeeters in their vaunted triple option. And then the other is going to be running back by man, which is Robert Merrill, who has just put up phenomenal numbers all year.
Well, you take a look at the numbers that Robert Merrill has posted this season. Not only 2,744 yards, but Shay, look at that yards per carry.
The yards per carry is astounding, as are all of the numbers. And again, what a great senior season he has had. Craig, Robert has put together just a phenomenal year, but the thing that's most impressive, he is the man. He is the workhorse. As he goes, so goes the Taft Raiders. And he has 265 more carries than any other running back on this whole Taft team. So it's really phenomenal how he has been as durable and as successful as he's been all season.
Well, the defense has also been successful for the Taft Raiders, led by a pair of linebackers for San Antonio Taft. When you look at Darnell Smith and Justin Moreno, 2 guys who have really stepped up.
And Darnell Smith and Justin Moreno they're very active and they fly to the football kind of linebackers. Now today they're going to have a different challenge though. They're going to have to play assignment-based football because this triple option is a very strong attack, and you've got to make sure that you get your read, you get the belly off the fullback, and then if the fullback doesn't get it, then you've got to fly out and catch the quarterback on the corner. So again, it's going to be a very difficult day for these guys to really hone in and play assignment-based football to shut down this Mesquite offense.
You see how the rain has affected the artificial turf surface here at historic Alamo Stadium. This place built back in 1940. And many great championship and playoff games have been contested here. And for the first time ever, a 5A Division I Texas Bowl will be played here. Mesquite will kick off in their home maroon jerseys and back deep to receive for the Taft Raiders. As you take a look back at C.J. Thornton, the kick by Jeremy Parker is fielded by Thornton and bobbled, and he picks it up at the 14-yard line, and the championship is underway as Thornton is out across the 20 to the 22-yard line. Mark Green down on the tackle for Mesquite. As you take a look at quarterback Cody Kelso, who comes out for the Taft Raiders, the 150-pound senior who's passed for 1,082 yards, who's completed 53% of his passes, and you see what he's done on the ground as well. 67 carries for 410 yards, and he averages 6.1 yards per carry. The Raiders operate from their own 22-yard line. And Robert Merrill is the only man back behind him. And the toss is to guess who? Robert Merrill turning the corner for a couple to the 24-yard line. Today's starting lineups are brought to you by Dodge as we take a look at the Taft Raiders. Offense, Cody Kelso. There are the passing numbers for the senior quarterback. On the offensive front, Joe Ballard, Steve Hernandez, John Griffin, Javier Pena, and Ryan Wells. The backs and receivers, Chris Juarez, their leading receiver, averaging 20 yards per catch. And you see Robert Merrill in the backfield. John White is the fullback. Pickup of 2 yards on the play, and it's 2nd down and 8 for the Raiders. And the officials have to make sure the chains are all set. A little bit tangled up, as we mentioned, very rainy, wet conditions. It started drizzling here about 10:45 this morning. and just picked up in intensity as Taft operates out of the eye. On second down and 8 yards to go. Merrill the carry again, and he's knocked out. An excellent one-on-one play defensively made by Brandon Douglas, the safety. As you take a look at the Mesquite Skeeter defense. The down lineman for Mesquite: Quentin McClellan, Marco Martin, Kirk Francis, and Chris Hubler. Tyrone Ely, Mark Green, Andrew O'Neill, and DJ Papillon. As the linebackers, Chris Williams, Brandon Douglas, the man who just made the tackle, and Maurice Linguist, who has 6 interceptions, leading the secondary. It is third down after a loss of a yard. 9 needed for the first down. And to the air, Kelso throws, and wide open out over the 45 is the tight end David Morgan. He'll take it all the way out to the 48-yard line, and a first down. He picks up 25 yards on the pass from Cody Kelso.
Craig, does a nice job there by Kelso, giving the play fake to Robert Merrill, and again finding his tight end David Morgan. David Morgan, a sophomore, comes into today's game with 3 catches, and what a big one he makes here on third down, picking up a big first down on the first drive for the Taft Raiders.
So the Raiders on the move out to the 48-yard line. We talk about all the ground attack that both of these have, and it's a pass play that moves the chains for the Raiders. From the 48-yard line for San Antonio Taft, the fullback Smith in motion. They give it to the fullback, John White, the fullback, and brought down right at the line of scrimmage as White, the junior fullback, was brought down by Tyrone Ely, the weak side linebacker for Mesquite.
As we're taking a look, too, at the Mesquite defense, Craig, they are bunched all around the line of scrimmage, and why not? Again, Robert Merrill is the guy who keeps everything going for the Taft Raiders. And if you think about Taft, run, Roger, run. That's what they have to do. They have to ride him one more game if they're going to win a state championship. And defensively for Taft, they're going to need to stay on assignment-based football, stay at home, and make sure that they read that triple option.
Today's keys to the game brought to you by Verizon. Second down, there's Robert Merrill again. And Merrill to the corner. And finally out of bounds at the Mesquite 37-yard line. Mark Green, the freshman linebacker, shoved him out of bounds. But it's another first down for Taft, this time in the much more familiar territory. Robert Merrill carrying the football.
And a nice little pop. You think Robert Merrill takes the nice, and he hops outside, and nice job keeping his footing. Again, it is very, very wet on the field, and you see just the explosiveness that he has as he went to the line of scrimmage, didn't see anything there, hopped outside, was able to pick up the big first down.
First down for Taft on the move. The ball at the Mesquite 37. First drive of the game, and the Raiders on the march already. Kelso to Merrill again. Through the tackles, and Robert Merrill close to another Taft Raider first down. Taking it right through the heart of the Mesquite defense. DJ Papillon, the rover, and Dante Haywood, he was helping out. Haywood, a senior, coming over to make the tackle. But that's another first down for Taft.
Craig, and so far Taft has been running the ball outside, running outside, trying to get outside the tackle. On that particular play, they ran a little trap inside. Looked like it caught Mesquite off guard. There's a big opening for Robert Merrill, and he wasn't even touched until he was about 10 or 12 yards downfield.
The ball is down to the Mesquite 26-yard line. Split receiver is Chris Juarez, joined outside by Kenneth Moreno. The offset eye look from the Raiders is the fullback, White, and goes laterally in motion, but Merrill gets the call again. Merrill following his big quick side guard, Steven Hernandez, as he takes it down inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Kirk Francis, the nose tackle, in on the stop for the Skeeters. It'll be second down and about 7 as the ball is just at the 24-yard line. They started just inside the 27.
And really critical here to keep the footing for both of these teams, Craig, is not to overrun the play or over-pursue the play. This is one of those surfaces where if you do not keep your feet underneath your shoulders, you're going to be on the ground.
On second down, Merrill the deep back with the receiver split, and White is the fullback in motion from right to left this time. Robert Merrill, the workhorse, with the carry again, and this time the Skeeter defense ready as they stop him after a pickup of about a yard. Mark Green, the linebacker, makes the tackle, and it's going to bring up another third down coming for the Raiders.
We talk about keeping your feet here. Watch as Mark Green slides over, does a nice job. He doesn't over-pursue the play, stays right up, and then he's able to put shoulder to shoulder. And, boy, you talk about a good-looking freshman. Mark Green is a big kid as well. Not only does he lead the team in tackles, but he's also a very active leader, and that's saying a lot for a freshman.
Third down, and the Raiders just shy of the Mesquite 22. They need the 17-yard line, so call it 3rd and a long 5 as White, the fullback, goes in motion to the right side. Looking to throw is Kelso. The pressure coming, and Kelso's going to be stopped short of the first down. In fact, he's brought down right at about the line of scrimmage. Guess who? The leading tackler, Mark Green, one of the Skeeters, coming over to bring him down, and it brings up 4th down.
Craig, right now, down on the field is the guy that we were talking about, Marco Martin. He's laying down with his helmet off, and that brings a certain amount of quietness to the stadium. Hope that he is okay, but a nice job there by Quentin McClellan coming up, putting the pressure, flushing him out of the pocket. Mark Green again cleaning up somewhere outside the play or off play. Martin went down.
We have just inside 8 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Opening drive of the game for the Taft Raiders. It is 4th down, and the Raiders are going to go for it. They need 6 yards for the first down. So here come the Raiders, and there's a flag down as Taft will come back. Flag stops play. I believe it was the strong side guard, Javier Pena, who moved a little early, number 77. I think he raised out of the three-point stance a little bit early, and that's going to cost the Raiders 5 yards. There's our referee, Terrell Pierce, from the Permian Basin chapter of officials. And they'll move it back, and that turns 4th and 6 into 4th and 11.
Well, yeah, if you're going to cut it at 4th and 11, again, we're in very inclement weather conditions, very wet field, wet ball, and really playing a battle of field position right now is Taft.
And the Raiders do appear as though they're going to go ahead and go for it now. So they will. 4th down and 11 now for the Raiders. With 2 wide receivers at the bottom of your screen. Now in motion is Stephen Williams, a sophomore flanker. 4th and 11. A toss to Maryland. Look out, he's going to throw. Deep downfield, and that's incomplete as he's unable to connect down the sidelines with Williams. Brandon Douglas on the coverage. That's something Mesquite was looking for there, because it's not the first time Robert Merrill has thrown the football this season.
That's right, absolutely. The Mesquite defenders had blanketed the receiver on both sides. And again, Robert Merrill has had 5 pass attempts coming into today. That was his 6th. 2 of those have been picked off, and he's completed 2. So again, not surprised at all. It's an excellent coaching job by Steve Halpin and his staff to have those defensive backs ready for that running back toss pass.
Even if Williams had not fallen down, he could not have caught the pass. It was going clearly out of bounds, and so Mesquite will have it, led by the 6'4", 200-pound senior quarterback Mark Hodges. A handoff on first down, and nothing doing for Chris Jackson, the senior A-back, and their second leading rusher, thanks to Brandon Pryor, the defensive end, who drops him for a loss of 3.
We talk about assignment-based football. Brandon Pryor right there was reading the quarterback, and as he made the handoff, was in the backfield for the stop, dropping the loss a loss of 2 yards. 2nd
down and 12 as you take a look at the Mesquite Skeeter offense, led by the senior quarterback Mark Hodges right there. 2nd down. Hodges on the option keeper this time, and he has stood up and driven back. And once more, Taft right there in his face, the free safety, Lionel Garcia. Here's the Mesquite offense. Hodges, the senior quarterback, impressive numbers on the ground, and through the air hasn't thrown that much, but he has 9 touchdown passes. Adrian Haywood, Brian Hill, Matt Rutherford, Josh Foster, and Charles Haley, the offensive front. Nylan Wadley, Chris Jackson, Lamont Fofang, Chris Williams, Mark Halpin in the backfield. And it's Dominique Wadley is the B-back in the offense. 3rd down and 9 for Mesquite. This time, the lead man, and nothing there at all. Just a little bit for the fullback, Fofang. And Darnell Smith, the linebacker, stuffs him at the line, and Mesquite will have to surrender possession. We go down to the sidelines. Dave Knobler right down there in the middle of all that rain.
Yeah, Craig, I tell you, first of all, about Marco Martin. Followed him across the parking lot over to the basketball arena here. He was favoring his left leg. He could barely put any weight on his right leg. It looked like it was very stiff. The ankle looked to be okay, but maybe it was a knee. But they took him into the training room across the parking lot in the basketball arena, and we'll keep tabs on his return.
All right, thank you very much, Dave. Jeremy Parker, the senior punter and place kicker, averages 43 yards per kick. He's an excellent kicker and punter and gets away a good one. This one is going to be fielded by Thornton at the 38-yard line. There's Dustin McPhillips as he brings it out over the 40 to the 42-yard line. Dustin McPhillips tackled there, and the tackle for the Skeeters at the 42-yard line made by Eric Harry. 1st and 10 for Taft. Their second possession. Merrill slipped And so it is Kelso keeping the football, and he actually turns that into positive yardage. Picked up about 3 yards before he was really popped hard by the weak side linebacker, Tyrone Ely. The keys to the game for Mesquite, as you take a look at these for the Skeeters defense and head coach Steve Halpin, the Verizon keys to the game. How about that?
You want syrup? That syrup means if you want to put some on the pancakes, this Mesquite offensive line averages 21 knockdowns a game, and it all starts up front for Mesquite on both sides of the football. Marco Martin out now, but again, very dominant up front on both sides of the ball for the Skeeters.
2nd down and 7 after a 3-yard pickup on the quarterback keeper, and here's Kelso again looking to run, and he'll tuck it in. Kelso with running room and close to the 1st down. In fact, he's brought down right at the 1st down marker. Tyrone Ely and Mark Green shoved him out of bounds, but he may have enough for the 1st down for the Raiders.
Looks like he had just enough oomph or stretch right there at the end of the play to pick up the 1st down. They're going to bring the chains all the way across to measure, but a nice job by Kelso rolling out to his left after the play fake, not seeing anything open to throw the football, tucks it, runs, and I think he's got the 1st down by about a yard or so.
Tucks it in and runs right there. Was looking as if to throw and then made the good decision to tuck it in and run. Inside the Skeeter 49-yard line with receivers split on either side. Kelso with the snap. You see Merrill, the deep back in the eye behind him, and Robert Merrill does get the call. And Merrill for a couple to the 47-yard line before the maroon jerseys catch up. Tyrone Ely, one of the Skeeters, as well as DJ Papillon, the roving linebacker, in on the stop. Gang tackling as Chris Hudler gets in as well. 2nd down, 8 yards to go for Taft. Inside 5 minutes remaining in a scoreless 1st quarter here in the rain of San Antonio in the 5A Division I Texas Bowl. Otis McDaniel, sophomore flanker, at the top of your screen is the lone receiver. The toss goes back to White, the fullback, and White breaking tackles and another 1st down for the Taft Raiders. John White, all of 5'8" and 140 pounds, the junior fullback, before he was finally shoved out of bounds by the safety, Brandon Douglas.
Talk about a little bit of role reversal here. You've got White, the fullback, lining up as the I-back, and Robert Merrill leading him around the corner. So, again, talk about the unselfish play of Robert Merrill. He's the lead blocker on that play, and he's the one that threw the block that sprung White for the gain.
All the way down to the 31-yard line for the Raiders as they continue to move the football here in the 1st quarter. The first drive stalled after a penalty. Taft went for it on 4th down and 11. The incomplete pass gave it up to Mesquite, but Skeeters have only had the football once in this game so far. It was 3 and punt. 1st and 10 for the Raiders. White is the fullback in motion, and now will block for Merrill as he gets the toss. Robert Merrill shoved out of bounds at about the Skeeter 30-yard line. Pickup of about a yard. Maurice Linguist, the cornerback, shoved him out of bounds.
And you're going to see all the corners and safeties all bunched up around the line of scrimmage, not trying to let Robert Merrill break out. And again, nice job by a corner. Maurice Linguist coming up, and he's the shutdown corner, so you usually see him defending on the pass play. Did a nice job there, showing he can come up and do run support as well.
2nd down as Stephen Williams, the sophomore flanker, brings in the play from the sidelines. It is Williams, one split receiver, the only wide out for Taft on 2nd down and 9 from the 30-yard line. Cody Kelso will give it to Merrill, coming back on the counter, and it does not fool the Skeeters because it's Kirk Francis, the nose tackle, who was over there to bring him down, and he dropped him for a loss back to the 32.
Maybe Kirk Francis, he is the guy, along with Marco Martin, that really leads this team. The 2 tackles, and again, these are big guys, or dominant guys, and you saw right there as he is able to break through the line of scrimmage and drop Merrill for a loss.
3rd down from the 32-yard line, and the Raiders need 11. The slot receiver is Chris Juarez. The wide out is Otis McDaniel. As Taft tries to move the sticks again. Here's Kelso looking to throw with the pressure coming. They swing it back the opposite way, and the tight end, David Morgan, couldn't hold on the football, or he might have been able to take it for big yardage.
He would have scored a touchdown because he was getting an excellent block by Ryan Wells out on the corner. Had Morgan been able to hold on to that football, he'd be in the end zone about now. What a great play call there by Taft. Again, when you're such a run-dominated team, Craig, and you've got one guy, Robert Merrill, who is your workhorse in the backfield, you don't have a whole lot of 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12 plays. Excellent play call. We saw one earlier hitting tight end David Morgan for the first down. Again, now trying to come back to him on a flow-away screen, and had he caught that football, he was going to score a touchdown.
Well, Lee Bridges says, let's go for it again. For the second time in the first quarter, Taft will go for it on 4th and 11. This time from the 32-yard line. And it's a wraparound draw to Merrill, but Mesquite staying at home drops him after a short gain. Mark Green leading the way, as well as Stanley Kafer, the linebacker. He stopped short of the first down, and it'll be Mesquite taking the football back for the second quarter. We're scoreless here in the 5A Division I Texas Bowl in San Antonio. Second quarter, the 5A Division I Texas Bowl from Alamo Stadium in San Antonio. Lee Bridges, who is kind of embarrassed when you talk to him about his coaching record. He's already been asked to speak at clinics, and he says, look, I hadn't done anything yet. They give it to Merrill, and there's a flag down on the play. First play of the second quarter, as the tackle was made by Chris Hudler. Meanwhile, we go down to the sidelines to Dave Knopfler.
The right knee. Don't know whether he'll be back. The coaching staff could not confirm that he would be coming back. So if he doesn't, that is an extremely big blow for the Skeeters.
All right, thanks very much, Dave. You heard that. A right knee injury to Marco Martin. They do not know if he is able to return. And you're right. We were talking about him before the game kicked off, Shay, how important he is to Mesquite's defense. And now out of the lineup right now. And Chris Gannon, a 208-pound junior, having to take his spot on the defensive front. The play was encroachment called against Mesquite, so 5 yards makes it 1st and 5.
They picked up 5 on the carry by Merrill, or about 4 yards, but they're going to take the extra yard very smartly. Get 1st and 5 now in scrimmage from about the 45-yard line.
Taft controlling things so far, even though there's been no score. Looking to throw. Kelso under pressure. The ball knocked down, and an excellent one-on-one play made by the safety Brandon Douglas, closing quickly.
Well, we talked about his sure tackling abilities earlier, and what an outstanding play Brandon Douglas just turned in as he comes over the top of the receiver, doesn't touch the receiver. Watch here as Kelso goes back, gets a little bit of pressure in his face, forces him out a little wide, goes there. But again, outstanding play by Douglas as he comes in and gets that right arm over the top, knocking the football away.
Kenneth Moreno, the wide receiver, comes in. He's look at those very impressive numbers by Brandon Douglas. Always around the football. Merrill gets the call. Tyrone Ely popped him, and down goes Merrill. And also coming over on the tackle for Mesquite was Quentin McClellan, the defensive end, as Merrill is held to a 1-yard gain. And another 3rd down coming up.
And you hear the Mesquite faithful right now. They're raising up their voices, trying to get a little loud. And you see the players saying, come on, let's hear it. Mesquite has kind of been walking through this first quarter or so of football. Now they're extolling the fans to get up, get behind them, because they really need to stop here and see if they can't get something going on offense.
A lot of fans making the 290-mile drive down 635 and I-35 here to San Antonio. 3rd down and a long 4 for the Raiders. Out of the eye. The play fake to Merrill. Kelso not able to find a receiver, and he's tripped up from behind. The speed on defense coming to the aid of the Skeeters. The strong side senior linebacker Andrew O'Neal trips up Kelso from behind. It brings up 4th down and 3.
A nice job again by the secondary of Mesquite, not giving Kelso an early target, so as he has to continue to roll outside, there's nowhere to go with the football. But Andrew O'Neal, outstanding hustle as he's able to swipe the feet out from under Kelso and stop him just short of the 1st down. Now, on a 4th down, we'll see a punt from San Antonio Taft.
You know, it's interesting. Taft had gone for it on back-to-back 4th and 11 situations. This one a little farther out, so even though it's only 4th and 3, Lionel Garcia, who punts without the shoe on the right foot, who doubles as a team safety, has to field a bouncing ball, but gets a knuckleball kick down inside the 20, and it's fielded at the 2-yard line by Douglas. And Douglas, as a flag goes down, Douglas is brought down as well.
Oh, my.
Douglas brought it down. and fielded the ball on the bounce at the 2-yard line, there's no doubt that ball would have gone into the end zone.
Absolutely right. That ball was headed through the end zone, not just in the end zone. And Douglas decided to field the football, and then as it was rolling around, we're going to see a block in the back against C.J. Thornton, who was down covering. But boy, what a tough call that's going to be against Mesquite in fielding that football on the 1-yard line.
Add to that an illegal block against the Skeeters in the back. You'll go half the distance to the goal line, and they'll take that ball inside the 4, and they'll take it all the way down to the 2-yard line, and that's where the Skeeters have to operate.
Douglas there trying to make something happen as he fields the ball, and there you see Lindquist gets the block in the back. C.J. Thornton still able to come through and pull Douglas down, but that's going to really back up this Mesquite offense and really put a lot of pressure on Mark Hodges and see if he cannot get this vaunted triple option attack working.
From the 2-yard line of Mesquite, Skeeters operate. And Hodges looking to throw out of his own end zone, in trouble, and he loses the football, and that ball goes out of bounds. This is a huge break for Mesquite. They're going to call this an incomplete pass.
An underhanded complete pass, Craig.
They could very easily have called that intentional grounding in the end zone, which would have been a safety.
And you see right now, Coach Steve Halpin is over there. He is right in the official's ear saying, come on now. He scooped the ball out as he did that. Excuse me, Lee Bridges over there. And he's giving the referee an earful because Hodges alertly was going to get sacked in the end zone for a safety. He pitches the ball out, rolls it out underhand as he's rolling to his left. Linebacker that we highlighted at the beginning of the game, though, Darnell Smith. Boy, that's a safety.
That should have been intentional grounding there. But Mesquite gets a break. Instead, it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 2-yard line for the Skeeters. And you saw Lee Bridges very upset that no flag was thrown.
Mesquite right now trying to call a timeout as the play clock is winding down, having difficulty getting reset after that play.
And they do take the timeout. Mesquite trying to regroup on offense. No score, but the Skeeters backed up within the shadow of their own goalpost.
Championship Week on Fox Sports Southwest. Brought to you in part by Cavender's.
Marco Martin early in the game taken down on the block, and that's been a big blow, the loss there of Martin to Mesquite's defensive front.
It has been. Again, he gets stood up right there at the line of scrimmage, and he just gets come in. John Griffin comes in and with a low block there on the leg, and unfortunately for Marco Martin, he is out of the game right now. And he's been helped over. Not only is he not in the vicinity of the stadium, he's all the way across the parking lot in the basketball facility here. So unlikely that he'll be able to return to today's game.
Mesquite Skeeters will operate here with 6:37 to go first half. And really, the Skeeters have been pretty fortunate, Shay, considering the things that have gone on and their inability to move the football here on the ground in the first half.
Well, they just walked the receiver onto the field, 21 Chris Williams. They didn't have enough men on the field to start from scrimmage here.
On first down, the ball's loose on the carpet, and Taft is going to get it. Fumble recovery made by Warren Foxwell, the strong safety. We were talking about big breaks. Taft gets one there at the Skeeter 21.
Trying to go. Mark Hodges trying to go with a little belly option, handing it to the fullback and pulling it out. In this kind of weather, we talk about both teams being run dominant. Rain is much more of a detriment for Mesquite because they have the triple option. They've got to fake the belly. They've got to pull it back. And just as Hodges tries to pull it back, the ball squirts around and Foxwell falls on it. And I would expect to see a heavy dose of Robert Merrill coming at you.
Absolutely, from the 21-yard line now as we get near the midway mark of the second quarter, the first turnover of the ball game. We'll see if it turns out to be a big one. From the eye, with Stephen Williams, the sophomore flanker, in motion for Taft. It is Merrill trying to find something outside and cannot. He'll lose a little bit of yardage, about a half yard. Maurice Linguist, the quarterback, makes the tackle. As you take a look at the golf game summary here, not that much to summarize because there are no points on the scoreboard. But also, in addition to that, the Mesquite Skeeters just having trouble moving the football.
Yeah, they've not to develop any continuity on offense. And again, you really have to tip your hat to the defensive coaching staff for Taft, who have not played a triple option team coming into today's football game. They have shut down a very powerful Mesquite offense.
Lots of rain, obviously, and you see the total yards for Mesquite, a mere 3 yards. Second down. The quick drop, the pass, it's caught inside the 10 and down to the 7-yard lines to Chris Juarez, the junior wideout. Chris Williams makes the tackle. How about the play call of Lee Bridges, the pass, the slant route in this rain, and it works. It'll be 1st and goal at the 7.
Craig, the key is that is a slant route, and that's a ball that Kelso threw that Juarez could catch in the body. You take here, as Kelso takes his drop here, you'll see that Juarez runs the slant route. He sticks the ball right on the 8 and the 1. He catches it. Now he's able to cradle it in because not risking it, getting it outside your body, catching it well with your hands. Nice job there by Taft.
Now toss it back to White, the fullback. And White for about a yard to the 6-yard line before Green and Williams team up to make the tackle. For Mesquite, it'll be 2nd down and goal to go. Well, that pass in the rain just like your old partner Todd Dodge used to do to you, right?
Yeah, he could throw him there, and I usually caught him. This is the way I remember it anyway, especially in the rain.
Todd Dodge can coach a little bit, too.
Yeah, he's having a good run here, and looks like he's going to have his guys, or at least playing in the semis today.
South Lake Carroll's Dragons playing in the 4A Division II semifinals against the defending state champions, the Ennis Lions. That game going on at Texas Stadium this afternoon. 2nd down, goal to go. Taft at the Mesquite 6-yard line. This time, it is Kelso dropping the football, but he falls back on it at the 9 as he pulled it out, I think, from the fullback, and that was very nearly taken away from him, but he managed to pull the football back in because Chris Hudler at the end was right on top of him.
Well, he's going to fake the run there to his fullback, John White, but John White gets stuffed, and that makes Kelso drop the football as he can't get it off of White's hip. Again, number 31 coming in for Mesquite, Quentin McClellan, just driving John White to the ground and really forcing Kelso to drop the fumble. Now, again, I look at that as being 2 jabs. You've gotten 2 jabs right now. It's time to throw the knockout punch and pitch the ball to Robert Merrill and see if he can't put it in the end zone.
3rd down and goal from the 9-yard line for Taft. Merrill, the deep back, in the eye with split receivers. And it will go to Merrill. Coming outside, Robert Merrill, can he get in right near the goal line, but he stopped short.
On the 1-yard line.
And
nice job.
Maurice Linguist and Brandon Douglas hold him out of the end zone. It's 4th and goal from the 1.
Nice job again. We see Robert Merrill as he takes the handoff, Craig. The vision that he has is he bounces it outside. They get a hand on him at the line of scrimmage, but as he's trying to fight through, Linguist and Broth Douglas, again, we talked about Douglas being a sure tackler. He mops up on that play, keeping Merrill out of the end zone. Otherwise, I don't know if Linguist would have had enough to hold him out.
Timeout called by the Taft Raiders here with 4:57 to go in the first half. One would think, Shay, that you go to your big back, your big game guy, Robert Merrill here. You only need a yard. I say only. It's a big 4th down, and so far, Taft has not been able to convert on 4th downs today.
It is, but in Taft may be setting a high school championship game record for going for it on 4th down now. As we've seen them, this will be the 3rd time on 4th down that they're going to go for it. Now, again, 4th and 1, Craig, I'm agreeing with you. I go to Robert Merrill. I mean, he's the guy that you've rode here. He's the guy that just got it down to the half-yard line. Give him a shot to break it in the end zone.
Key moment in this football game, scoreless here. Taft trying to cash in the Mesquite turnover on the fumble back at the Skeeter 21. Steve Halpin hoping his defense can hold for the Skeeters. 4th and goal at the 1-yard line here.
Craig, it is a long 1-yard line. The ball is going to be spotted just outside the 1, so not just enough to get the shoulders over. You're going to have to get a good surge out of the offensive line for Taft if they're going to get the ball in the end zone.
Here we go on 4th and goal and a power eye. It's Merrill with the call, and he's across for the touchdown. Robert Merrill has been the guy all season long for Taft, and he is on that 4th and goal play, and the first score in this championship game goes to the Raiders.
Ran behind big right tackle Ryan Wells, goes 240 in the power eye again. They had David Morgan lining up in the backfield. And that's all Robert Merrill there. Sees the crease, and there's no denying him getting through that as he goes in for the touchdown.
Also had his sophomore tight end, David Morgan, laying a block out there. And so Merrill is across for the 38th time this season. On for the conversion, Patrick Pruneda. The extra point kick is good. Lee Bridges Taft Raiders on top of the Mesquite Skeeters here with 4:53 to go in the first quarter. 21 yards and 6 plays for the Raiders to get it into the end zone. And the 1-yard run on 4th down and goal from the 1 by Robert Merrill. And the Raiders go on top 7-0. The kickoff to come from Joe Nichols, a junior. The pop-up kick, very short and fielded by Woodley, who's knocked down at the 37-yard line. He was popped pretty hard off that pop-up kick, and Alex Woodley, one of those.
That was Chris Juarez, the receiver, the wide receiver, going down on, putting him in scoring position, going down, laying the lick on Woodley.
They will officially spot the football at the Mesquite 38. So the Skeeters do have good field position. And now they find themselves down 7-0 here with 4:46 to go here in the first half. Chris Williams, a senior split end, out and looking to throw is Hodges. Looking for Williams deep, and it's incomplete. Pass a little bit short. Williams well covered back there by C.J. Thornton, the cornerback.
Mesquite look like they're trying to get a little bit of something going here on offense. Just on the first play, got a one-on-one route. Their leading receiver, Chris Williams, has 20 receptions, 4 touchdowns. Try to get him out on the outside, but nice job of Thornton staying between him and the football, knocking it down.
2nd down and 10. You see the perfect record for Mark Hodges as a starting quarterback. And Hodges trouble handling a snap. It's loose. And Taft says it's got another turnover.
They do.
And the officials agree as Robert Jimenez, the 210-pound sophomore, comes up with a fumble recovery.
Greg, the Mesquite offense looks like they're just a little out of sync here as they're trying to make difficult ball handling maneuvers. Mark Hodges usually very adept at doing that, but as he comes out again, he tries to pull the ball back out of the belly. That Taft pressure up front causing the fumble, and again, very big series for this Mesquite defense. If they're going to stay in this ball game, especially the way the conditions are, they need to hold this Taft offense. A
collision between Hodges, the guard Josh Foster, and the fullback Lamont Fofang gives the football back to Taft, and the Raiders operate from the Skeeter 37. Looking to throw Kelso. The pump fake, and nobody back there but Skeeters. That ball was caught but out of bounds by Otis McDaniel.
What a catch by Otis McDaniel. Tried to run the out and up, but that was very well defended. And I tell you, I'm so impressed with Brandon Douglas, the free safety from Mesquite, that he was not allowing anybody to get behind him. He didn't bite on the fake. But Otis McDaniel doing a really nice job of using his hands, catching that football, even though it's about 4 yards out of bounds.
2nd down and 10 from the Mesquite 37. With 4.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Chris Juarez, who's already made a big catch today. One of the split receivers along with Stephen Williams.
Kelso right now going up the line of scrimmage, calling an audible.
He'll give it to the fullback, White. Big running room for John White. And White brought down from behind by Douglas, but White was one broken tackle away from taking it to the end zone.
And you don't break many tackles from Brandon Douglas. We've talked about him a lot here in the last couple of series, but again, nice job by your senior quarterback, Cody Kelso, coming to the line of scrimmage, recognizing something going on. He calls the dive to John White, the fullback, and just rips it off for a huge gain.
15 yards on the rumble by the fullback, John White. 1st down, Taft at the Mesquite 22. This time it's Robert Merrill's turn. A big block ahead of him. And Merrill inside the 20, and he'll score. Robert Merrill dancing between tacklers after a couple of big blocks out front. Merrill's 2nd score of the game is Taft's 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. That is where your senior running back makes such a difference for you, when he can make a move like the one we see here.
But what a nice job for a big back. The guy goes 195 pounds, and he runs right through the guy I've been talking about. Brandon Douglas runs right through his tackle, but Merrill showing excellent feet, gets a great kick-out block by his fullback, John White. And again, very heady, but Craig, the impressive thing is you can see the field is absolutely saturated. Merrill doing a nice job of keeping his feet underneath him.
Extra point kick is blocked. no good, and Mesquite trying to pick it up and return it. And no one will get that one. So the extra point try is no good. And the place kicker, Patrick Pruneda, is down on the turf as well as Mesquite came crashing in to block the kick. Kirk Francis picked it up. Pruneda is down on the field right now. And the Taft lead holds at 13-0 with 4:07 remaining here in the first half. So 2 Mesquite turnovers, 2 touchdowns for the Taft Raiders. And Taft on top here, 13-0. As we approach the final third of the second quarter. 5A Division I Texas Bowl.
We talked about the rain a lot today and how difficult it is to handle the football. I'd like to see Taft go ahead and boom the ball down the field and try to play a little field position now and don't give a short field.
Here's the other kick, and another short kickoff and a fair catch and a wise move made by Alex Woodley to charge up to the ball, and he makes the fair catch at the 40-yard line. Trying to get something going on offense. They've had Precious Little and 2 turnovers as well. And nearly a third as the ball is loose on the carpet again. Mesquite gets it back at the 36-yard line, but that almost got away again before Dominique Wadley, the B-back, fell on the football, but Mark Hodges having a lot of trouble handling the snap and trying to execute the pitch or the play on that option.
Craig, that's the triple option, and that's really the very difficult thing is you've got to put that football in the belly of the fullback. As Hodges goes and he puts the belly in the fullback, Fofang not able to pull it back out, and that's where you're seeing the ball get dropped on the carpet.
Second down. A loss of 4 yards. It's 2nd and 14. They'll swing this one out. That's a lateral. And falling back on the football is Dominique Wadley. That was a backwards pass there, so that's a live football, and Wadley falls on it. That's a loss all the way back to the 29. They lose 7 more yards.
Craig, that was a double pass. They were trying to hit Chris Jackson, the running back, on the deep post route. Again, as you see, Hodges comes here. He throws the ball well behind the line of scrimmage. But Wadley not able to field it as it's a little low. But again, you have Chris Jackson streaking down the field. They're trying for the big play right now. Mesquite down 13-0. They're trying to throw the home run ball right away.
Third down.
Get something on the board before the half.
And they need 21 yards for the first down. Hodges looking to throw and looking for Douglas and overthrowing him down the sideline. Douglas had some running space. Brandon Douglas, we've seen him on special teams. We've seen him on defense. Now as a split receiver. McPhillips had the coverage, but Douglas was open, but the pass unable to reach the target, and now it's 4th down, and the Skeeters have to punt.
And we're seeing Mesquite really get out of their comfort zone on offense. They're used to running the triple option. They're used to banging the fullback in the middle. They're used to pulling it out. The quarterback, Mark Hodges, is a leading rusher on that team, and he's not gained anything so far. And so the Taft defense has absolutely shut down this option running game.
The man who has helped out the Skeeters most today is the man getting ready to take the center snap, Jeremy Parker, the punter. He's had a couple of excellent kicks. And here is a line drive kick, but it does take a Skeeter bounce. Now they'll turn sideways, and it'll roll dead at the 33-yard line. So they'll get 38 yards on that punt, will the Skeeters, but now Taft will get the football back. And right now, if you're Lee Bridges Ball Club, you just want to make sure not to commit a mistake here.
Well, you don't want to put the ball on the floor for sure, and you've got Robert Merrill back there, so I say, hey, give him the football as we see being done now, but he is your workhorse. He's shown that he can hold on to the football, and he's shown that he can navigate on this wet field. I say ride him.
Tyrone Ely, the weak side linebacker, makes the tackle for Mesquite, and it's now 3rd down. Now the clock will run with 3rd down and inches to go here. Late in the first half, inside a minute and a half remaining in the first half. From the eye, Cody Kelso, the senior quarterback, will keep it himself, and I don't know if he got it. He was really stood up by the defensive end, Chris Hudler, and Hudler wraps him up and drops him, and I think he's going to be short of the first down. It'll bring up 4th down for Taft. Bring on the chains here with 54 seconds to go in the first half, and we'll see what they did. Oh, did they give him a favorable spot? I guess so. The first surge will mean that it's a first down for Taft. It's a beneficial measurement there.
Yeah, that's a nice spot. Hey, if you can get it, that's okay. Might as well take it. But you heard the air kind of go out of the Mesquite Skeeter sideline as they were like, come on. We had the guy stop a yard behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, I'm sure that Coach Lee Bridges and the staff are saying, well, that's the least that they could do after the non-call in the end zone. They could have been a safety. Instead, it'll be a first down as the clock moves again inside. 40 seconds now to go in the first half. And Taft would be glad to take a big run if they can break it, but they're not going to try anything too tricky as they give it to Merrill. And Merrill's in across midfield and into Mesquite territory at the 49-yard line. But they do not have to run another play, do the Taft Raiders, if they want the first half clock to run out.
And that was the freight train, Robert Merrill, coming through the line of scrimmage there. And he just ran right over the top of Brandon Douglas.
And we'll see if Taft chooses to run another play or if they're just going to let the clock run out. And that's going to be the case. Taft will be very happy to take a 13-0 lead to the locker room at halftime over the undefeated and third-ranked Mesquite Skeeters here in the 5A Division I Texas Bowl, as the Raiders, with the 2 touchdowns on the ground from Robert Merrill, coming off of Mesquite turnovers, fumbles at the line of scrimmage on the exchange. And so as a result, Taft will take that 13-0 lead into the locker room, and adjustments definitely needing to be made for Mesquite here at halftime.
Well, Mesquite is going to have to find their stride offensively. Again, they have put the ball on the carpet now 3 times. They've lost 2 of them, and they've just not had anything work for them on offense, Craig. So it's going to be imperative that they go in at the half and they get back. Now, they've got strong running backs. We talked about them at the opening. They've got 5 running backs on that Mesquite Skeeter offense that have gone for over 400-plus yards. So they've got to come back, stick to their knitting. The rain is not an issue. Hey, it's here. Deal with it. They're doing it, so let's see if we can do it, and that's going to be the challenge for Mesquite coming out in the second half.
Halftime here at Alamo Stadium. It's San Antonio Taft 13 and Mesquite nothing. Nearing the start of the second half. Today's halftime statistics brought to you by Gatorade, and the halftime highlights we bring to you as well in the first half. You look at those numbers, unbelievable for a team that rushes the football as well as Mesquite does. Shea Walker unable to get anything going.
Yeah, the minus 18 yards. Now, they are playing on a wet field, Craig, and it is absolutely just killed Mesquite's chances right now because they have not handled the ball very well. They've had a couple of turnovers, and that's really cost them in this ball game so far.
Well, you look at the two turnovers, as you mentioned, it set up the 2 touchdowns for San Antonio Taft. There's the total yards, 189 to minus 18, as the Taft Raider faithful have reason to be happy about it. And Taft, as you look at the first half highlights of this one, the Raiders making it count because of the turnovers for Mesquite. The Skeeters not able to take care of the football. Their quarterback, Mark Hodges, unable to control it. And the 2 turnovers set up Robert Merrill and the ground attack for the Taft Raiders.
And Robert Merrill has done an outstanding job. He's a big back, Craig. He's running through a bunch of tackles. But again, you don't see him losing his footing or slipping or sliding down so much. He's running controlled. But when he sees the seam, he sees a crease, bam, he's gone. So he's doing a nice job of navigating on this wet turf. Whereas on the other side, Mark Hodges, the quarterback, who is the leading rusher for Mesquite, hasn't had much success in handling the football. So we've got the 2 turnovers and the score as it is.
Second half underway, and the kickoff return here, and a big return opportunity for the Mesquite Skeeters. Here comes Chris Williams, and finally brought down at the 48-yard line. Dragged down after that kickoff return and very nearly taking it the distance. But Brandon Ferguson kept it from being a huge return as Chris Williams brings it all the way back for Mesquite to the Skeeter 48-yard line.
Now, every time we've seen Taft kick off today, Craig, they have done the small pooch kickoffs where they're trying to make either force a fair catch or see if they can cause a Mesquite receiver to juggle or fumble this wet football. On that particular play, Mesquite made them pay for that as they return the ball almost out to midfield. 1st and 10, Skeeters, they operate from the 48. The senior quarterback, Hodges, to throw. They have 0 yards passing this afternoon. Hodges looking for some, and it's nearly intercepted by C.J. Thornton in the corner. Closed very quickly on the pass, nearly had the pick. Well, C.J. Thornton doing a nice job there of waiting until the last moment. And the pressure up front by the Taft defenders forced Hodge to throw the football. When he did, C.J. almost stepped in and had him a pick there.
Second down, 10 yards to go. And you think that Mesquite with a big kickoff return, for their sake, they really need to take advantage of this first 5 minutes here of the third quarter important.
Well, absolutely. It is very critical for them now. They've got excellent field position, and they need to get their offense on track.
Toss to the left side. It goes to Dominique Wadley, and Wadley shaking some tacklers and getting some positive yardage to the 46-yard line of Taft as he picks up 6 yards on that carry, and it will bring up third down and 4. Darnell Smith, the linebacker, with the stop for the Raiders.
The thing that's a little peculiar about Mesquite, though, Craig, we've seen them, again, a run-dominated triple-option team, but they've come out now in a couple of series, and they've thrown the long ball to start the series to see if they can get something going.
Not only that, the rain has nearly stopped here at Alamo Stadium. Perhaps a respite for Mesquite. Third down and 4. Ball's fumbled, and Hodges will have to pick it up, and he'll go down back at the 45-yard line. It looked like they had the play set up well in the toss sweep, but the ball was fumbled by Alex Woodley. Hodges picked it up, and then it was Chad Lee who came over to make the tackle for the loss all the way back to the Skeeter 46.
You're right, Craig. We have gotten a break from the rain, but this turf is absolutely saturated. It won't dry out for another couple of weeks, as wet as it is today. So, again, a little bit of handling problems there. That's the 4th time we've seen Mesquite mishandle the football. They've lost 2 of those.
Woodley unable to handle that one, and now the Skeeters must punt. Jeremy Parker has been their best offensive weapon today as he has come away with some excellent kicks. He'll need another one here to keep Taft from having excellent field position. The snap is good back to Parker, and so is the kick. And this will send McPhillips back to the 15-yard line. Flag goes down, and McPhillips is driven back at the 22. This flag from way back upfield, and we'll have to see what the call is as McPhillips was gang tackled at the 22-yard line. Andrew O'Neal was downfield to lead the charge for Mesquite downfield on special teams, along with Eric Harry. And holding is the call on the run back against Taft. This will be Taft's worst starting field position of the day, thanks in large measure to the punt.
And the penalty.
And the penalty.
On the play, the penalties have really pushed them back. Now, again, they're starting scrimmage from their own 13-yard line.
So Taft with the 13-0 lead, starts from the 13. The Raiders have had Robert Merrill be the key to their offensive attack. And on first down, there's movement on both sides of the line. Quentin McClellan, the defensive end, came across, but he says he was drawn off by Joe Ballard, the offensive tackle. And that's exactly going to be the call. A false start against Taft, and it'll cost the Raiders 5 more.
Certainly going in the wrong direction right now. But it looks like Mesquite, Craig, they've got a little bit more energy in them now. So I imagine the halftime talk by Steve Halpin and crew has really gotten these guys a little charged up and fired up for the ball game, because we see a little bit more energy or sense of urgency right now from the Mesquite Skeeters.
Back to the 8-yard line. It'll be first down and 15 now for the Raiders. As Kelso, the quarterback, will give it to Robert Merrill. Merrill slides down. Have about a yard loss back to the 7-yard line. Well, of course, this part of a state championship Saturday. We're very pleased to be joined by the athletic director of the University Interscholastic League, Dr. Charles Brydup. Wet, rainy conditions. I know you're glad to be inside where it's dry here today, but a big crowd on hand nevertheless, Charles.
Quite surprising. We do have a good crowd today. A lot of fans from Mesquite braved the weather. They left yesterday thinking it was going to be bright and sunshiny, but they have been out here in full force, so we're very pleased with the crowd we've had today.
You've got state championships being contested at different venues today, as far-flung as Sweetwater with a 6-man Texas Bowl. More after this play. It'll be second down. And a long, long way to go after the loss, but they give to the fullback, John White, and White takes it out over the 10, and he's close back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be third and 10. Andrew O'Neal, the strong side linebacker, the tackle for Mesquite.
Well, there are games all over the state. 2 big championship games in Waco today at Waco ISD Stadium. Ball games down at the Astrodome and the comforts of the indoors. But we're excited about this weekend. 15 games overall, and we'll culminate the season next week with 5 state championship games.
You know, for all the people who talk about, hey, wouldn't it be great to get them all at one place, it's nice to see different communities get a chance to host a state championship.
You're exactly right, Craig.
Third down now and 10 for Taft. And perhaps an audible here as Cody Kelso with the long count, speaking to his receivers out of the eye. From the 13-yard line, 3rd and 10, Merrill gets the call, and Robert Merrill close to the first down, not quite enough. He picked up close to 9 yards. The safety, Brandon Douglas, prevents the first down, and to be 4th down. Taft will have to punt the football. You know, Charles, for a lot of folks who aren't, as we take another look at the run by Robert Merrill, and he's close to the first down, but Douglas comes over to make the tackle. The other big thing going on, you and the University Interscholastic League staff working on the biennial realignment coming up in February, and after this punt, we'll get your comment on that, because I know there's been a lot of conversation about what's going to happen. It's certainly a curiosity and a great deal of interest all across the state. Here's the punt snap back to Lionel Garcia. High kick, but this is not deep at all. Now it takes a Taft hop, rolls across the 50-yard line, and it'll be down right at the 50-yard line. We'll be back with more from Dr. Charles Braddock, the AD, and more of this 5A Division I Texas Bowl on Fox Sports Network.
The Championship Week on Fox Sports Southwest. Brought to you in part by Cavender's.
A little rain not dampening the spirits, certainly of the Taft faithful here at Alamo Stadium. As Mesquite gets the football back, second possession of the second half, and Hodges looking to throw deep. Looking for Woodley, who makes the catch inside the 10-yard line. Alex Woodley out of the backfield, timing the leap perfectly. He takes it 41 yards down to the Taft 9-yard line before Foxwell can drag it down.
Craig, that's the I don't know about the 5th time now that we've seen Mesquite come out. And again, talk about their dominating run game, but they've come out on first down and they've thrown the long ball. Hodges this time going out nicely, and whoa, what a catch by Woodley. Going up, catching that ball with his hands, defender draped over him, and wet football, wet conditions, but now he's got the Mesquite offense scrimmaging inside the 10-yard line.
1st and goal at the 9 as they line up in the wishbone set. The toss to Jackson. He slips and falls for a yard loss back to the 10. We're visiting with Dr. Charles Braddock, athletic director of the UIL, and as I started to say, it's a very daunting task, the biennial realignment, reclassification that your staff is working on.
Well, it is, because almost 1,300 schools have to be included. Everyone is affected. We have to group those 1,300 schools into 5 conferences and obviously into districts, 32 districts in each conference, and it does cause a lot of work by our staff, and they're up to the task.
2nd down, goal to go. Ball just inside the 10. Lost about a half yard on the play. First man through, the fullback, Fulfang. Touchdown, Mesquite Skeeters. Fullback, Lamont Fulfang takes it in, the first man through, and Mesquite is on the board. So the Skeeters get the touchdown, and they're right back in it.
Craig, the difference between this is, do you see Fulfang, and they're not, now you don't see how just trying to ride him. He's just handing the football, whereas in the first half when he was trying to ride the belly option and then pull it back out, he's just handing the football now to Fulfang, and he takes it in for the touchdown. So Mesquite making that halftime adjustment where they're handing the ball off directly instead of doing all of the intricacies of the triple option.
Jeremy Parker adds the conversion, and all of a sudden it's a 6-point game. Brand new football game here in the Alamo City. Taft's lead over Mesquite cut to a mere 6 points, 13-7 here in the 3rd quarter at Alamo Stadium as Mesquite is right back in it. C.J. Thornton awaiting the kickoff from Jeremy Parker. As the Taft Raider lead of 13-0 at the half has been cut by more than half. Parker's kick is high, not that deep, and it will be fielded by McDaniel at the 12-yard line. Across the 20, and he breaks out. Here goes Otis McDaniel, and a flag is down as McDaniel takes it across the 45. Nyland Wadley makes the tackle for Mesquite. This may come back because of an illegal block or a hold on the run back against the Taft Raiders. Our referee, Terrell Pierce, with the indication here after conferring with the side judge, and the illegal block is the call. as we were visiting with Dr. Charles Bryant of the UIL, talking about realignment, reclassification. What is the most difficult part of your staff? Is it establishing the number of the cutoff or deciding exactly which schools go to which districts? Is there one part that's more difficult than the others?
Obviously, is putting those schools into districts where you have to make a decision about who goes where, and you're leaving someone that's maybe 5 miles apart from another school going to an opposite district. So making those subjective decisions is the most difficult part. The policies on who goes into what conference pretty much guide you. So it is all complicated, but it's not rocket science. It just takes a little patience and a little bit of endurance.
I know everybody's been working hard, and we appreciate you joining us this afternoon. A happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you. A great place to be at the football game today.
Look a day over 37. All right, 1st and 10. The ball is at the 20-yard line after the penalty. They'll give it to Robert Merrill, and Merrill very nearly breaking up for big yardage. As it stands, he'll settle for an 8-yard gain out to the 28-yard line. Brought down there by Maurice Linguist, the corner, and Brandon Douglas, the safety. It'll be 2nd down and 2 yards to go for Taft.
Greg, just want to say thanks to you for all you've done for high school football through the years. I know you're really in the college game now, but done a great deal promoting our sports, not just football, but great job through the years. Just thank you so much from all of our 1,300 high schools.
Awful nice of you to say. It's been my pleasure, certainly, no doubt about it. Thank you, Charles. Dr. Charles Bryant, the athletic director of the UIL. 2nd down, 2 yards to go. The ball is at the 28-yard line for Taft. Raiders trying to strike back after the Mesquite touchdown. They'll give it to Merrill again. Robert Merrill, and very close to the 1st down. Brought down just shy of the 30, maybe a few inches shy. That freshman middle linebacker, Mark Green, with the tackle for Mesquite.
What a nice job by Green coming up and meeting Merrill in the hole. And as Robert Merrill tries to skate out to his outside, Green doing a nice job of tripping him up and dropping him short of the 1st down.
3rd down and inches. This is a big play, Shea, on both sides of the football.
Well, it is in Mesquite right now. Again, we talked about coming out of the halftime. They made some adjustments, and they've got the energy and the momentum going on their side of the football right now. And Taft really needs to put something to go if they're going to kind of quell that enthusiasm right now.
3rd down. The handoff, Merrill, and he's got the 1st down. Out of the 30 to the 31-yard line. And Brandon Douglas makes a tackle. The side judge coming over, or the line judge coming over as they get together. And by the way, the line judge in this game is former Odessa Permian running back Dow Watson, who is a big part of that Permian co-championship team of 1984 that fought to a 21-21 tie with Beaumont French at Texas Stadium. Dow Watson, a big part of that. And we mentioned it's a Permian Basin chapter of officials today, so some state championship pedigree with the officiating crew as well. 1st and 10, toss to the right side, Merrill. And that's Merrill still on his feet. And Robert Merrill, another 1st down for Taft, as he'll take it 13 yards out to the Raider 44. Andrew O'Neal on the tackle for the Skeeters.
What an impressive run by Robert Merrill. Again, as he takes the hand off the pitch, going out to his right, Craig. It looks like Mesquite's defense keeps stringing him along. But you know what? He breaks arm tackles, and then he runs over guys, picking up another 1st down. You talk about what a weapon he is. And again, he's running with power, but he's running under control. Really impressive performance today by Robert Merrill.
Out to the 44 as you see the time remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Merrill over 100 yards rushing this afternoon. 1st and 10 for Taft. At this point, nursing the 6-point lead, but trying to attack after the Mesquite touchdown. This time it goes on the fullback, White. And not much going there for John White, the fullback, as Chris Hudler, the defensive end, wraps him up well. Right at the line of scrimmage, maybe even about a half-yard loss. 2nd down and a long 10. The winner of this game will claim its 1st ever state championship. Taft has never appeared in the title round. Mesquite was here 1974 when they lost to the Brazos Wood Buccaneers, coached by L.Z. Bryant and David Hodge, the hard-hitting linebacker off of that team.
Oh, yeah. Remember that guy. What a stud, huh?
Brazos Wood Bucks won that one 22-12.
And on the University of Houston?
He did indeed. Played for Bill Yeoman. That was the only other state championship game appearance for Mesquite. Quarterback by Mike Ford. He went on to SMU and then played in the NFL. Second down. Merrill, the carry, bouncing off tacklers, and Robert Merrill takes it out to the 49-yard line to pick up a close to 6 yards. Andrew O'Neal and Kirk Francis on the tackle for the Skeeters. It'll be third down, and still about 5 needed for the first down. As the clock moves inside, 3 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Taft Raiders last year and Lee Bridges' first season a mere 3-7, and they really turned things around. A big part of that, Robert Merrill was ill for a lot of time. Was out sick and was unable to function. They give it to Merrill again on the toss, and he's knocked down short of the first down by guess who? Brandon Douglas, the safety, who's been in on seemingly every key tackle of Robert Merrill, knocks him down short of the 50-yard line. It'll be 4th and 4 for the Raiders.
Talk about Brandon Douglas being a sure tackler. He is the, again, solo tackle leader on this Mesquite defense, while Mark Green gets the dubious title of having the most tackles. We see Brandon Douglas again coming up, and he absolutely leveled Robert Merrill.
Lionel Garcia has to punt, and back deep to receive it is Chris Williams. Mesquite will get the football back. Kick is away, and they had the rush coming, but it is away, and it'll be stopped at the 26-yard line of Mesquite. That is where the Skeeters will operate. They trail by 6 with 1:35 remaining here in the third quarter. Skeeters will operate from their own 26-yard line with 1:35 remaining here in the third quarter. Taft on top by 6 as Mesquite tries to strike back. And it'll go to Wadley, who slips and falls after a gain of a couple. Dominique Wadley, the third leading rusher, one of those 5 young men who have gained over 400 yards rushing this year, one of 4 who have gained over 500, 639 yards for the senior back Dominique Wadley. Second down and 8. Mesquite High trying to get it established on the ground. They had a big pass on the last drive, and now Hodges to throw again, and a great leaping catch outside by Steve Rios. The senior split end, Thornton on the tackle for Taft, but it's a first down for the Skeeters, and they're moving the ball through the air, Shea.
A little surprising, but what a nice throw by Mark Hodges. As you see, he'll throw this ball on the outside of Rios, away from the defender, C.J. Thornton. C.J. Thornton, excellent coverage, but again, nice job of Mark Hodges throwing the ball in the outside corner, and what a catch by Steve Rios, going and catching that ball again, Craig. Conditions today, it's very slick, very slippery, not easy to hang on the ball. Rios doing an excellent job there.
From the 41-yard line for the Skeeters. This time the toss to Wadley again with a couple of blockers in front of him, and Dominique Wadley a pickup of 4 yards. Out to the 45, Brandon Ferguson, the safety on the tackle.
And what we're noticing here is not only Mesquite having some success throwing the football, but what's really made a difference so far in this second half is that you see Wadley making the cut. He's getting his feet underneath him now, whereas he was slipping earlier in the ball game. Now he's gathering himself and making those cuts, and you're not seeing the kind of penetration that Taft was getting earlier, and seeing Mesquite picking up some yardage on their running play. 2nd and 6, and now Hodges going deep, and he's looking for Douglas downfield with a catch. Goes Douglas, and Douglas will score. Touchdown Mesquite as they take it 55 yards through the air. Mark Hodges to Brandon Douglas, and the Skeeters are an extra point away from leading for the first time. A huge extra point coming up after a huge strike through the air. Greg, you see, as the ball is thrown, it is thrown into double coverage. Brandon Douglas doing a nice job of keeping his eyes focused on the football. C.J. Thornton there, and just absolutely Lionel Garcia also there. C.J. took the ball away and then drug 2 defenders into the end zone. Outstanding individual effort. And there's the extra point, putting Mesquite up ahead. But boy, what a play by Brandon Douglas. We've been talking about his defensive prowess. He just shows you what he can do on offense as well.
Jeremy Parker did tack on the extra point, and now As you see, the extra point that gives Mesquite its first lead of the afternoon on the 55-yard touchdown pass for Mark Hodges to Brandon Douglas, and the Skeeters lead it 14-13.
Brandon Douglas is a former quarterback. As a sophomore, he quarterback. He is a very athletic guy, but they moved him over to wide receiver, and he's also the starting free safety. But what a, wow, what a play.
Parker all fired up, and he helped keep Mesquite in this football game with his punting.
Absolutely.
Shea, and now has given him the lead on the extra point. Now the kickoff to come for Mesquite. And to think about all of the conversation we had about Mesquite running the football and the way they run the football. And yet it's been two big pass plays that have turned this football game around in the third quarter.
And not only the two big pass plays, Greg, but it's also been the out route that they threw to Rios. And so they've moved the ball intermittently through there, and then they've also gone for the home run. So a little bit out of character, but believe me, Steve Alpin is happy to see it.
Otis McDaniel awaiting the kickoff for the Taft Raiders. Parker to kick it off for Mesquite. Little pop-up kick this time, and a fair catch called for and made at the 29-yard line for the Raiders by Chris Juarez. So the Taft Raiders operate from their 29, and all of a sudden, they're trailing for the first time as they go out on offense.
They're trailing. They're probably a little shell-shocked, as we're a little surprised up here in the booth as well, with Mesquite being inept in the first half in offense and coming out in this second half so far in the third quarter and taking the lead in this ball game with 2 touchdowns and being able to convert both extra points. But you can clearly see the momentum and the energy is on the side of Mesquite Skeeters.
And while the rain has really come down this afternoon and has finally let up, no one's left here as they're excited to see on the Mesquite sideline the Skeeters now leading for the first time. Here's Taft from the 29, and it's Robert Merrill. Popped hard after a pickup of about 3 out over the 32, and that'll be the final play of the third quarter. A third quarter which has turned this game in the favor of the undefeated number 3 team in the state of Texas. That's the end of the third quarter from Alamo Stadium in San Antonio. It's the Mesquite Skeeters 14, the San Antonio Taft Raiders 13.
The best.
Welcome you back to Alamo Stadium in San Antonio. Craig Way, Shea Walker, Dave Knobler with you. Rainy and wet Saturday afternoon, but the rain has subsided. The skies have brightened up, and so too has the outlook for the Mesquite Skeeters, who had 2 third-quarter touchdowns, and they now lead the Taft Raiders 14-13 as we begin the fourth quarter. And it is second down and 7 yards to go for the Raiders. Cody Kelso, the senior quarterback. He'll hand it to Robert Merrill. Merrill slips and falls. Otherwise, it could have been a big gainer. But he's out over the 35 to the 37, close to the 38-yard line. Chris Williams, the corner, comes up to greet him after Merrill had fallen down.
And Robert Merrill running to the sideline now. And again, every field has a crown. We talked about all the rain earlier. As you see it getting out closer to the numbers or closer to the sidelines, the field is a little bit more sloppy. And Merrill tried to make his cut back to his left. Feet just slid out from under him. Stopping just short of the first down.
Third and a long yard needed for Taft. Juarez and McDaniel, the receivers for the Raiders. From the eye, it is Merrill. And Merrill close to the first down, but I think he stopped short as Mark Green, the freshman middle linebacker, came in on the tackle for Mesquite.
Mark Green doing a nice job there. Really impressive as a freshman, being able to make the reads and the plays that he makes, but he just then was able to see a little bit of a crease from the pulling guard, and he knifes in and he drops Merrill actually for a little bit of a loss, Craig. It's going to be about 4th and about 1.5 now.
They will bring on the chains to measure this one.
Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. I was going with the down marker. That was, they backed it up about 1.5 yards.
An important measurement here early in the fourth quarter in a 14-13 game. A stretch of the chains, and it is still short. You see it. What is that, 5 chain lengths? And
interesting play call coming here.
Lee Bridges considering his options here on 4th down. A lot of the momentum on offense turning Mesquite's way once the Skeeters got their hands on the football, but Coach Bridges not wanting to risk it now as he'll send out the punting team. And Steve Halpin knows that momentum is turned in his club's favor as they plan to get the football back, and he's also telling him to watch the fake here. And Mesquite coming up to the line as if to guard against a fake punt. Only Williams now backs up to receive the kick from Lionel Garcia. Snap bouncing back to Garcia, but the kick is away. And Williams will not go near the football. This is going to roll, and a nice roll inside the 25 and down to the 24-yard line. Well, this has been an exciting game. In the first half, it really belonged to Taft because of Mesquite mistakes. The fumble there, that one recovered by Warren Foxwell. The second one recovered by Chad Lee. And it set up 2 Merrill touchdowns. But through the air, Mesquite has come back. Hodges going deep to Alex Woodley, set up a touchdown run here from the fullback Lamont Fofang, and then the big strike through the air, 55 yards. Mark Hodges to Brandon Douglas, dragging C.J. Thornton into the end zone, and the extra point has given Mesquite its first lead of the afternoon. 14-13 with the Skeeters operating from their own 24-yard line. Fofang, the fullback, for a couple out over the 25 to the 26. You see the time remaining as we hit 10.5 minutes to go in the championship. 2nd down and 8. Hodges, what a difference a half makes, Shea, when you look at his numbers from half 1 to half 2.
Well, no question about it. He didn't do anything in the first, and then now in the second half, he's been lights out. But again, I credit the receivers going down. Woodley, huge catch. Douglas, huge catch. That certainly helps the average out.
2nd down and 8. Line up in the wishbone. This time it goes to Woodley. Shaking tacklers, and Woodley with a first down out of the 35 to the 37-yard line. 11 yards for Alex Woodley. Lionel Garcia, the safety, on the tackle for Taft.
Okay, what we're seeing Mesquite do is what they did not do in the first half. They're making more direct handoffs instead of a lot of the, again, the intricacies of the triple option where you put it in the belly, you pull it back, and that kind of thing. What they're doing is they're making these direct handoffs, and they're starting to get some creases and seams, and it looks like finally that the running backs from Mesquite have adjusted themselves to the wet turf, and you saw Woodley there rip off a big game.
Nose of the football just shy of the 37 of Mesquite. Now the Skeeters comfortable in returning to their punishing ground game as they go back to it for 3 yards out to the 40-yard line. This time to Chris Jackson. It'll be actually Dominic Wadley on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. Justin Moreno on the tackle for Taft. Here's a look at your golf game summary for this one. There's the 55-yard touchdown reception by Brandon Douglas. What a player he's been on both sides of the ball for Mesquite today. And Robert Merrill of Taft running the ball well for the Raiders. But in the second half, the total yardage has gone the way of the Skeeters. Under 19 yards to 53 after they had minus 18 yards of total offense in the first half. Here's Wadley on the toss. He's popped by Brandon Ferguson, the safety, brought down at the 43-yard line. And an important 3rd down coming up.
Important 3rd down for Mesquite as well as for the Taft defense. They really need to hold here and see if they can get the ball back.
There's other action going on at Waco ISD Stadium this afternoon. Denton Ryan leading 28-20. Division II semifinals underway and scoreless in the first quarter. Is Innocent South Lake Carroll, Bay City, and Austin Reagan at the half of the Astrodome. The Black Cats, winners of the Division I title a year ago, leading Austin Reagan 14-3. On the option keeper, here's Hodges. A first down and more for Mark Hodges. Down to the 46-yard line. Thornton made the tackle. But on the option keeper, their leading rusher, remembers the quarterback, Mark Hodges, and he picks up the first down.
Take a look here, Craig, though, how he takes the ball right back out of the belly of the fullback. He doesn't put it in and doesn't try to ride it again as he was doing in the first half where they were having some ball handling problems. You see him make the fake quickly, but he pulls it back very fast and turns it up again. As you mentioned, the leading rusher on this offense, and looking for some senior leadership coming out. Guys 15-0 as a starter, trying to put the nail in the coffin here for the Mesquite Skeeters.
And Shay, this is where the strength of Mesquite really plays into this ball game right now. Leading, keeping it on the ground, keeping the clock moving. 1st and 10, the ball at the 46. Inside 8 minutes remaining in the game. On the counter, they'll go to Wadley in some trouble, and Dominique Wadley is brought down. Maybe a yard gain to the 45. Nothing more than that. Chad Lee, the tackle on the stop for the Raiders. 2nd down and 9 as you see the time remaining here at Alamo Stadium. And for Taft, the issue becoming more crucial to get a defensive stop, if for no other reason, certainly to stop Mesquite, but then field position starts to become a factor here. 2nd down and 9. Out of the wishbone set. Ball on the hip for Hodges to throw in the middle. That ball's incomplete and nearly picked off. Almost intercepted by Dustin McPhillips, the corner. And it's now 3rd down, and an important 3rd down coming up. Crucial 3rd down for the Skeeter offense and for the Taft defense here, Shea. The Raiders really need a stop.
Absolutely. In Mesquite right now, Craig, I think they've got Taft guessing a little bit because you saw the pass attempt right there, but they've been fairly balanced so far in this second half, throwing the football, running the football. So again, Taft really needs a hold here on 3rd down, but probably not knowing what to expect. And you've got Mr. Brandon Douglas lined up on the outside there looking like one-on-one coverage.
And they're going for Douglas deep as Hodges looking for him, and it's incomplete. It brings up 4th down. So it brings up 4th down, and they'll have to punt the football. McPhillips and Garcia teaming up on the coverage, and the Skeeters will have to punt the football.
Brandon Douglas, he's complaining to the official a little bit, thinking he got pushed in the back there as he's going for the ball. But again, you see him in Lionel Garcia coming over from the free safety position. Wasn't really there and not able to come up with the football. Nice job by Taft, though, being able to hold on that 3rd down.
Now Jeremy Parker will have to punt. And Parker to kick it away. This one angling for the corner inside the 10, and it will just get beyond the pylon for a touchback. That's a big break for the Taft Raiders. Raiders will start from their 20, down a point when we come back. Definitely a tale of 2 halves here. Taft taking advantage of the Mesquite mistakes in half number 1. Mesquite the big 3rd quarter. And now the Skeeters trying to hold on to a 1-point lead. 14-13 here at the Rock Pile with 6:55 to go in the 5A Division I state championship.
The trailing in the second half is not strange to Taft as they were down 10-9 to Pearland last week. Coming in to their 4th quarter before they put 2 touchdowns on late. So they're familiar from playing from behind and know how important this drive is.
And they give it to Robert Merrill. And Merrill out over the 25 to the 28-yard line. A pickup of a DJ Papillon. The Rover comes over to make the tackle for the Skeeters. That's close to a 9-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and short for Taft. Steve Halpin, the head coach for the Mesquite Skeeters. He's one of several members of the Mesquite coaching staff who are graduates of Mesquite High School. 2nd down, Merrill stopped short. Boy, was he hit hard in the backfield. And it was Mark Green, the freshman middle linebacker, on the tackle for the Skeeters.
Mark Green making his presence felt there as he knifes through again, just refusing to be blocked, and he's blowing right by the Taft offensive lineman, right by the block of John White, and just nailing Robert Merrill, dropping him for a loss. That doesn't happen very much for Robert Merrill.
No, it doesn't. And it's 3rd down and close to 3 needed for the 1st down for the Raiders. An important 3rd down here for Taft. Kelso will fake it to Merrill and now throws for the fullback White, and it's a 1st down. John White circling out of the backfield. Mark Green on the tackle, but on 3rd down and 3, they managed to pick up 16 yards and a 1st down.
Nice play fake there by Kelso, but what did that? You see John White going, come on, throw it. Here, the ball's on its way. Finally got there just before Mark Green put the hit on him. Nice job, John White, staying focused on that football and making the catch.
And quite a fake from Cody Kelso with a ball on the hip. 1st down, the ball out to the 44. The toss to Merrill, and he looks to throw. And this one is going to be incomplete and almost intercepted by Brandon Douglas. Merrill looking downfield as he was trying to find Chris Juarez. It'll be 2nd and 10.
No stranger to throwing the football. We chronicled that in the first half. He had 5 attempts coming into today. This is his 2nd pass attempt today. Again, very well defended by Mesquite. Douglas almost making that interception. Now, had he made that interception, Craig, Robert Merrill would have 7 attempts, 3 interceptions, 2 completions. So he better stick to running the football.
2nd down and 10. We'll see if Taft elects to do that with 5:23 remaining. They will go to the air, and the pass goes to Juarez and incomplete. Unable to handle it as he was turning around off the fingertips. Brandon Douglas, the safety on the coverage. It brings up 3rd down and 10 for the Raiders.
Big 3rd down call here, Craig. Earlier in the first half, we saw Taft in a similar situation where they were in this 3rd down and distance, but what they did was they tried to run that little reverse throwback screen to the tight end, David Morgan. Now, that was a wide open play. Be interesting to see if they come back and try that again.
3rd down and 10. The Raiders bring Chris Juarez out. Kenneth Moreno is the split receiver at the bottom of your screen. From the eye, Cody Kelso, the quarterback, looking to throw. Pressure coming. They set up a screen back to Merrill. Mesquite sniffing it out, but they can't make the tackle, and Merrill has the 1st down. No less than 5 Skeeters had a shot at Robert Merrill, but he picks up 11 yards before Mark Green can drag him down.
Herculean effort by Robert Merrill. What a play. Not only does he go out and make the catch, he breaks a tackle right at the reception. It takes a pretty good shot, runs through some arm tackles, and then again runs over his own guy en route to picking up a 1st down. Outstanding individual effort there. You talk about a guy who wants to put it in the end zone. You're looking at him right there.
And they pick up the necessary yardage. Taft keeping the drive alive. Now at the Skeeter 45. Back to Merrill on the ground. And Merrill for a couple to the 43. Green again on the tackle for the Skeeters along with Brandon Douglas. It'll be 2nd down and 8. You see the time remaining as it ticks down here in the Texas Bowl.
Really got to be impressed with the freshman Mark Green. He runs so well side to side. We've seen him making plays out on Robert Merrill, but then also we've seen him knifing through and beating blocks of junior and senior linemen. So again, you see this freshman really stepping up today.
2nd down. And the Raiders down by a point. They go with 2 wide receivers on the short side of the field. And Kelso looking to throw, except he fumbled the football and has to fall back on it. It's still loose on the carpet and picked up by Chris Hudler. All the way down to the 35-yard line. And the first Taft turnover of the day is a killer.
The fumble was bad enough, but it looked like Kelso was on the ball, Craig. And again, we've talked about how wet the field is. It must have just squirted out from under him. You see here as he goes. He tries to make the play fake to Merrill, not able to scoop it up on the wet carpet. And Hudler coming along, showing nice hands picking it up. Wow, what a huge turnover, and a very timely, or how costly turnover for Taft as they were on the drive, on the march, turning the football over and giving Mesquite excellent field position.
Quentin McClellan, the defensive end, might have helped force that fumble. He was forcing the play back inside, and the ball just lost by the quarterback, Cody Kelso. So now Mesquite with the football, a 1-point lead, and 4:05 to go, trying to run out the clock. They'll keep it on the ground to Jackson. And a flag comes down as Chris Jackson is brought down at the 34. Pickup of a couple. And we'll check the flag. Terrell Pierce, our referee, with the conference. Big call here. And this one's going to be a face mask call against Mesquite. Or on Taft, excuse me.
As Chris Jackson, Craig, was fighting through there, the Taft defenders were trying to get him. He just had his back turned and was pushing the pile backwards, and everybody grabbing around him. Somebody got a hand on the face mask, which are going to draw the 5-yard flag. Incidental face mask.
So instead of it being 2nd and 9, it's now 2nd and 4, and the ball is at the 30-yard line of Taft.
Clock sitting squarely on 4 minutes. Very critical point in the game for Taft.
Second down, and Mesquite just trying to move the chains, run out the clock, maybe get this one in the end zone and put it out of reach. Hodges slips and falls. It was after that play, they took the 5-yard face mask, so it was first down and 5, and now second down as he's brought down at the 29-yard line, just inside the 29.
And it's taken a little bit of time to get the ball set, which starts the play clock, because they had about 20 seconds go off as they're waiting to get dry balls and get everything situated just the right way. So again, the clock running now. We're already down to 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in the ball game.
Taft running out of time if they can't come up with a defensive stop. Mesquite trying to put it away. They'll give it to Jackson. A first down for Chris Jackson inside the 25 and down to the 24-yard line goes Jackson. And an important move of the sticks for the Mesquite Skeeters as they draw closer to the school's first ever state championship. This team has been so constant, so consistent all season long in winning the District 10 5A championship, beating good teams in the playoffs. When you look at the total yards of what's deceptive there, those 129, you look at what Mesquite did in the third quarter to get control of the football game through the air with the 2 big pass plays. Here's Hodges on the keeper. Inside the 20 and down to the 19-yard line goes Mark Hodges. And now Taft forced to use its timeouts here as the clock is still moving, and finally the Raiders call timeout. 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the game, and time running out on the Raiders. There you get a good look at Steve Halpin as the Skeeters are closing in on the school's first ever state championship. They have second down and short after the timeout. Here's Jackson turning it for the first down as he turns the corner inside the 15 and down to the 13-yard line. Darnell Smith on the stop for Taft, but the Skeeters getting closer. Another move of the chains, and crucial there for Mesquite on the run by Chris Jackson.
A nice job by Chris Jackson, Craig, as he was going out to the outside. He could have gotten that first down if he would have stayed outside and bounced it, but again, staying in bounds, he cut it up inside to pick up the first down. He took a little bit of a shot to do that, but once the chains get set, the clock will start running again.
Lee Bridges seeing the time really on the side of the Skeeters now. Steve Halpin, who graduated high school in 1974. It was that fall that the Skeeter football team went all the way to the 4A state finals before losing to Brazoswood. Robbie Robinson on his staff played on that team. They give it right now to the fullback Fofang, who loses the football, and Taft gets it back. Recovered by Darnell Smith, the linebacker, and the Raiders are still alive, albeit at their own 5-yard line.
Fofang, we've seen him make some big runs up the middle and churning his legs. Again, we saw David Denny, though, during that timeout break, telling his guys, go for the football. You've got to have a strip, and he takes a big shot there, not able to hang on to it. Darnell Smith, man on the spot, is able to recover the loose ball. And now, again, Taft scrimmaging from their own 5-yard line. We're going to see if Kelso has got the long ball in him.
2:06 remaining in the game. Taft has 2 timeouts left. Remember, they used one on defense. They start from their own 5. Merrill, the deep back, in his own end zone, and he gets the call. And Merrill only about a yard to the 6. As the Skeeters had maroon jerseys all around him. Kirk Francis, one of the tacklers, along with Andrew O'Neill, the linebacker.
Greg, we see checking into the game right now is sophomore Otis McDaniel. And we saw him making a circus catch on the sideline. Even though he was out of bounds, he went up and made a catch over 2 Mesquite defenders, one of them being Brandon Douglas. So I'd look to see him figure heavily here in this last surge by Taft.
Second and 9 from the Taft 6. Kelso to throw from his own end zone. Under pressure, looking for McDaniel, and it's incomplete. The pass was short. Kirk Francis really forcing the pressure. He had to get rid of the football, and it's incomplete, and it's now 3rd and 9.
And probably one of the strengths of the team, and we talked about how strong up front Mesquite is, but the secondary is nothing short of stellar. They come in today with 24 interceptions. So again, Chris Williams, DJ Papillon, Brandon Douglas, who we've talked about, and Maurice Linguist, who've been making plays all game. They're the ones roaming around back there in the secondary, going to make it very difficult for Taft to find some open seams to throw the ball.
3rd and 9 for the Raiders. They'll go to a 3 wideout set as the tight end Morgan comes out. Juarez, Stephen Williams, and Otis McDaniel, the receivers. On 3rd and 9. Kelso to throw again. Under pressure. Still on his feet. And gets the pass away, and it's intercepted by Brandon Douglas. What a game Douglas has had. And the interception gives it back to the Skeeters, who can now get so close and celebrate a state championship if they hold on to the ball.
With only 2 timeouts left, Taft is not going to be able to stop the football. We're going to see a very secure running plays, I'm sure, by Mesquite. A nice job by Douglas. Again, we talked about him. He's been outstanding all ball game, Craig. He came into today's game with 3 interceptions. He just picks up his 4th, and what a huge one that is to potentially seal the ball game in a perfect season for Mesquite in a state championship to boot.
And it was Reggie Green, a senior defensive end, who's had to play because of the injury to Marco Martin in the first quarter that forced Kelso outside and forced him to get rid of the football. But there's your Pepsi player of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon Douglas. What a big afternoon he's had. The toss to Wadley. And Wadley takes it down to the 15-yard line, and Taft has to use a timeout as the clock is now stopped with 1:08 remaining. And the Skeeters, thanks in large measure to the efforts of that young man, Brandon Douglas, are so close to taking a state championship trophy back to Davis Boulevard. It'll be 2nd down after the gain of about 5. 2nd down and 5 with 1:08 to go in the game.
You talk about Mesquite in their first, or their state championship, their first visit to the state championship game in 26 years. 1998, they made it to the semis, but they lost to a Midland Lee team that went on to win it.
Part of the three-peat for the Midland Lee Rebels that was ended this year by Fossil Ridge High School of Keller, which then in turn lost to Mesquite last week in the state semifinals at Texas Stadium.
The point I was going to make is that Brandon Douglas was a quarterback on that Mesquite team that lost to Midland Lee. So again, nice way for him to wrap up his high school career.
A leader in the secondary and on the receiving end with the touchdown catch. Here's the toss back to Jackson. He goes down. And now Taft uses its final timeout with 1:02 to play in the game. And it'll be 3rd down for Mesquite coming up.
And that's a play where Coach Halpin wants, he really wants his running back, Chris Jackson, to keep his feet, because as he was running outside, he got out there in the wet area and slid down. Now, had he kept his feet and bumped around, he would have chewed up another 8, 10, 12 seconds off the clock.
Now, I'm also sure that Coach Halpin will be telling his guys, if it is a running play, you better stay in bounds.
Absolutely.
Taft is out of timeouts now, and the clock would run. Now, they will have to snap it on a 4th down play, but yeah, that's exactly what he's saying right now. Stay in bounds, as he's telling his team right now. So close to a championship. As we mentioned, Halpin, a graduate of Mesquite. Several members of his coaching staff. Steve, in his 7th season at the helm, a career record of 51-25. The offensive coordinator of this team under Mickey Delamar from 87 to 94, and Coach Delamar, the athletic director in Mesquite. And Lee Bridges, what a tremendous job he's done in only his 2nd year at Taft.
And coming off of a 3-7 season, albeit without Robert Merrill, but again, off a 3-7 season, now he's in the state championship game.
3rd down. Well, hand it off to Jackson, and Jackson is stopped short of the 1st down. But the clock will move. You see the time inside a minute remaining in the game.
The ball is not set yet. Time winding down, 25-second clock has not started.
And the officials now start it, and the ball will have to be snapped with about 17 seconds remaining in the game. And the Skeeters will have to snap the ball at least one more time. And if they don't pick up the first down, and they need 3 yards for it, if they don't, Taft will get one final shot.
So senior quarterback Mark Hodge is coming out, getting ready to call a timeout just before the line's down to 1 second. Mesquite calling a timeout.
With 18 seconds officially on the scoreboard clock here, and a 14-13 lead, as we saw Mark Hodge as a senior coming over, waiting till the last instant to take that timeout. And now, if you're Steve Halpin, you'd like to be able to pick up the first down here. I don't think they want to try to chance a field goal, even with a tremendous field goal kicker like Jeremy Parker. You never know if you get a bad snap or if a
wet
big
footing
rush
on the field. I mean, there's so many things that can go wrong. Right here, you take the snap, you run the ball probably with faux fang, or give it to your leading rusher, Mark Hodge, coming in the ball game. And if you can't pick up the first down, you're going to, again, chew up about 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds. So it's going to be down to desperation time. And you're going to have this Mesquite secondary led by Brandon Douglas back there. So it's going to be very difficult to make up the necessary yardage or field position that Taft needs. So expect nothing more than just a little dive right up the middle, chew up the clock.
And if they pick up the 3 yards, it'll be the final play of the game, because they'll mark the football, roll the clock, and the trophy goes to the Skeeters. 4th down now. 3 yards to go. Hodges to Jackson. Jackson fumbled the football, and Taft will pick it up. It's still loose. It's in the end zone, and the Raiders trying to run the ball out of the end zone. And outside, with 3 seconds and 2, and out over the 10 to the 11-yard line goes Dustin McPhillips. So Taft will get one play. You know, you would think maybe they might try to put down the knee, but even so, they probably would only have gotten one play out of it. So you try to make something happen, and Taft will get the football for one final shot.
Absolutely. You see Chris Jackson here taking the handoff, going over the right side. But again, as he goes through the line of scrimmage, he gets stripped. But then from there, the scrum happens, and that really works against Taft, as they're not able to put a handle on the ball and get it. Finally picking it up, getting it returned out, but down to 2 seconds left. So they've got their last play. Got to go 90 yards.
And you see Coach Halpin thought he had it, and then the ball coming loose, and it's not quite there yet for Steve Halpin and the Mesquite Skeeters, because Taft is going to get one last shot here with 2 seconds to play in the game. What a close battle this has been throughout the day. The first half belonging to Taft, Mesquite taking over in the second half. And you look at the Mesquite Skeeters, look at those 4 defensive backs up around the 50-yard line.
Yeah, these guys aren't going to let anything get by them, especially on a guy running free. So, and again, led by the guy standing in the middle of the field, Brandon Douglas.
One last play in the Texas Bowl. The direct snap going back to Merrill, who will throw the football. He'll put it high in the air. It's going to go out of bounds, and the Mesquite Skeeters are champions of Class 5A Division I, the first state championship in school history.
And our player of the game, Brandon Douglas, already has his shoulder pads off, helmet off. He wants to be interviewed.
Mark Green, the freshman linebacker. Bob there. Mesquite, a force in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex playoff scene the past few years after they had a long drought between playoff appearances, 1941 to 74, but a championship trophy to take back up I-35.
And a perfect season, and boy, you sure wouldn't have thought it by the way they played the first half. They kind of sleepwalked through the first half, but boy, they really came on in the second half. 2 big scores, and really credit the throwing game and Hodges, but boy, the receivers really went up, got some balls.
We are down here where it's very happy and joyous occasion. Dr. Brydup has something for Coach Halpin and the Skeeter family here. How about a 5A Division I state champion trophy? Take it away, Phil.
Well, Dave, we've got some outstanding individuals here. Of course, the head coach, Steve Halpin, who led his team back from a 13-0 halftime deficit. Outstanding comeback. We've got the superintendent of schools for Mesquite ISD, a member of the UIL Legislative Council, Dr. James Terry, to help me with the trophy presentation. Along with him, the athletic director of Mesquite ISD, Mickey Delamar, and high school principal for Mesquite High School, Charles Nix. Dr. Terry, your honors.
Dr. Braddup, thank you very much. Coach Halpin, this is the year that starts. This is our second 100 year. You said this was a time for us to start, and you did it. A great comeback. We did it, Dr. Terry. Great. Congratulations.
Hey, I appreciate it. I'm so proud of our kids and our coaches. Just another example of our seniors. They believed at halftime. We talked to them at halftime about, hey, we're going to come back and win this thing 14-13, and we made some stops. Martin made some big plays, threw the ball well. Brandon Douglas made a big catch, and those 35 seniors played their tails off once again.
It just seemed like there was an awful lot of pressure on this community, on this school, to make it finally happen.
There's no doubt. We were feeling the pressure, 101 years and no state championships, and these guys 14-0, unblemished record, and they didn't want to let that go for naught. And it was critical for us to win the game today, and we did it. I'm proud of our kids.
And you have every reason to be. Congratulations, Coach Halpin. Congratulations to the Skeeters on a 5A Division I state championship. All right, let's send it back up to Craig in the booth.
Thank you very much, Dave Knobler. And there you see down on the field, certainly one of the heroes and our Pepsi Player of the Game, Brandon Douglas there. The Mesquite Skeeters, champions of 5A Division I, 14-13, the victory over the Taft Raiders. Let's go back down to Dave Knobler's down there with our Pepsi Player of the Game, Brandon Douglas.
All right, here's Brandon. What a game. Nobody knew Mesquite could throw like that. What was up today?
Hey, that's a big surprise. We come out. Coach Halpin came in at halftime and said, we're going to come out. He don't care how wet it is, throw the ball down the field. We did. We made plays, and I give it to Coach for that one. So.
You're also on the defense. You had to play without Marco Martin, who got injured early on. What a gutty performance on defense.
We knew we had to step it up. Marco's a big part of the team. Matter of fact, he holds the defensive line down. We saw when he went out, everybody else stood up. Kurt, Chris Heller, Quentin, they all stuck up for Marco, and we brought it home, baby.
All right, Brandon, go celebrate with your teammates. They're holding up that trophy, all right? Congratulations. Certainly the weather will be memorable, but what about a memorable ball game? Let's send it back up to Craig.
All right. Thank you very much, Dave Knobler, and celebrations aplenty on the east side of Dallas County tonight as the Mesquite Skeeters take home the state championship trophy for 5A Division I. They defeat the Taft Raiders 14-13. Shea Walker, an excellent season for Taft, not to be forgotten, even though they come up short by 1 point today.
Absolutely. I mean, they played very hard all season. They won games that they weren't supposed to win or told that they weren't going to win, beating Pearland last week to get in this ball game, and they represented themselves very well today. One
of the key members of today's game, only a freshman, and he's down there with Dave Knobler.
That's right. What a freshman performance. Freshmen aren't supposed to play like this, but you guys stepped up. Marco left jaw early on, but you guys played a fantastic ball game defensively.
We just played good. We had to come back out the second half and step it up. And Coach we had to work to perfection, so we did. When I blocked the field goal, I was just trying to get the team motivated so we come back out.
Were there ever any doubts down 13-0 at the half, coming back in the second half?
We knew we could come back and step it up and win the game.
All right, congratulations on the state championship. Taft called themselves a second-half team, but today it was Mesquite who was a second-half ball club. Let's go up to Craig.
Mesquite with the championship this afternoon. The Skeeters come from behind, down 13-0 at the half, and they can take that trophy back home to Mesquite as the champions of 5A Division I. They win this one 14-13. They come down to San Antonio at Alamo Stadium, and they make the rock pile their own as they will go back up to Mesquite with a title.
Well, it's a big win for these guys. Again, finishing the undefeated season is just a fantastic thing for these guys. Both teams represent themselves well, but boy, what a big second half. Mesquite throwing the football, coming back, Brandon Douglas making the catch, 55-yard touchdown. That was really the score that put them ahead, obviously, but that was the momentum changer that Mesquite needed to wrap up this state championship.
Thanks for the time, partner. We really appreciate it. Final score this afternoon, 14-13, Mesquite over Taft.